Well, Deb Murphy filed this report for Sierra Wave Media. Student athletes at Bishop Union High School will face a new drug, alcohol, and tobacco policy this fall. This is part of the school's athletic code of conduct, one that Bishop High Principal Randy Cook said represents a change of philosophy, combining education with accountability. Now, the changes are significant, requiring an athlete to adhere to state and local laws and school regulations 24/7, both on and off campus. Now, in the case of alcohol and drug violations, athletes will be suspended from the current sports season and be required to complete a drug and alcohol education program before the suspension is lifted. Drug violations will carry the added onus of a disciplinary athletic contract with the school's athletic committee, mandating bi-monthly drug testing and setting standards for grades, attendance, and behavior. Now, consequences for tobacco use, including vapor pens and e-cigarettes, is suspension from 1/3 of the athletic contest, which will carry into subsequent seasons. Now, for second offenses, the consequences are ramped up. For additional offenses, it's time to sit down with that student, said Bishop Union High School Athletic Director Stacy Van Ness. Now, the District Board of Trustees approved the policy changes unanimously. Trustee Dr. Eric Richmond pointed out that the student chooses the consequence of either participating in the diversion classes or not participating in sports. Said Cook, participating in sports is a privilege. He also noted that when he introduced the policy changes at Thursday's special board meeting, that athletes are held to a higher standard. They can expect accountability 24/7. They represent the school, Cook said. Now, Athletic Director Van Ness pointed out that the response from the school's 26 coaches has been varied. Most should be on board, she said. It gives the athletes a second chance. Full details of the policy and the school's athletic code of conduct will be provided to athletes and their families. Well, an interesting if troubling story coming out of June Lake last week. A press release from the Mono County Sheriff's Department states that last Wednesday, the Mono County Sheriff's Office Dispatch Center received a call from a resident of June Lake regarding a suspicious letter that was received and that contained a white powdery substance. The resident contacted the Mono County Sheriff's Office requesting assistance. Deputies and Mono County EMS were dispatched to that residence in June Lake. Several people, including a first responder, were potentially exposed to the white powder and were transported via ambulance to Mammoth Hospital for observation. A unified command was established with Mono County EMS, June Lake Fire Department, Mammoth Lakes Fire Department, Mono County Health Department, and Mono County Sheriff's Office. Decontamination and proper hazmat procedures were followed according to that press release, and all clothing and materials were secured for further analysis. Mono County Sheriff's Office requested the assistance of the FBI's regional laboratory to assist in the testing of that white powder. Preliminary test results from the FBI laboratory show the white powder is not a hazardous substance. Final test results are still pending. Mono County Sheriff's Office would like to remind the public that any suspicious letter or package could be a serious threat. If you receive anything out of the ordinary or suspicious, you are asked to contact law enforcement immediately and leave that letter or package alone until authorities arrive. And Deb Murphy also filed this story for Sierra Wave Media. Starting back in mid-June and going now through July 10th, a procession of telescopes and their California Highway Patrol escorts crawling down State Route 168 East from Cedar Flat, the Owens Valley Radio Observatory, Big Ears on the valley floor just north of Big Pine, stopping traffic for up to 2 hours initially, but now to about 20-minute delays, according to Caltrans. Now, the 23 dishes at the White Mountains Combined Array for Research in Millimeter Wave Astronomy, or CARMA, have been watching the skies for 11 years until funding was cut by the National Science Foundation. The site, leased from the Inyo National Forest, will have to be returned to its natural state. The presence of the facility will be erased. Now, for anyone who has ever attended the annual CARMA open house and listened to descriptions of projects and research at the facility, the month-long relocation feels like a funeral procession. 18 scientists and technicians are gone, leaving a staff of 7 at the Big Pine site. Now, according to one of the remaining scientists, Mark Hodges, the 8 12-foot University of Chicago and 9 20-foot UC Berkeley dishes will be stored at the Owens Valley Radio Observatory for 2 years, then possibly destroyed. The remaining 6 34-foot dishes owned by Caltech will be incorporated into research projects at Big Pine. Now the smaller dishes head down State Route 168 2 at a time, doing that in the mornings and again in the evening. The larger dishes have to be taken off their bases to be relocated, taking a whole day just to transport just one. Now Hodges said, quote, "When we found out about losing funding, it was a sick feeling. We knew we'd lose people who all loved living in the Owens Valley. It was a very special group. They could do anything they were asked to do," end quote. Now, in addition to staff, CARMA hosted summer schools for graduate students. We had 3 times as many hours requested in student proposals than were available in a day, Hodges said. Now, the scientists, in a grossly oversimplified description, looked at radio wavelengths to determine the composition and origins of the universe. Work will continue in the valley, looking at either stability or significant changes in the sky with an array of 300 antennas that can correlate images of the sky once each second, correlating long wavelengths with gamma ray satellite observations to see if the source is the same, and looking at the carbon monoxide in the early universe. Now, the funding issue, ironically, started with the collapse of a 300-foot dish at a radio wave observatory in Green Bank, West Virginia in 1988. The late Senator Robert Byrd, legendary for his ability to funnel federal dollars to his home state, passed legislation that funded the $75 million replacement. Now, according to Mark Hodges, the wording in the legislation compelled the NSF to support large new radio astronomy facilities. The Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array consortium of scientists from Europe, America, Canada, and Asia broke ground on the Chanteneur Plateau in northern Chile at an altitude of 16,404 feet. Hodges said the foundation didn't have enough money for this 3-year period to fund any other projects, and Hodges said, "We'd hope CARMA would complement that ALMA," and we thank Deb Murphy for that story. All right, let's go to one of the fun events of the early summer in the Eastern Sierra, the Mammoth Food and Wine Experience. Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill filed this story.
Rob, this is our 5th year doing the Mammoth Food and Wine Experience. You know, we're so blessed to be able to put on an event like this in our community and have the community come out in support of what the Mammoth Lakes Foundation is doing. And, you know, 5 years, every year it gets better. We just had a great event today, and we're so grateful that all the supporters came out to be a part of bringing forward Dave McCoy's mission and vision for our community. So it was a great day here in Mammoth. Yeah, we did a wine walk yesterday, highlighted 15 wineries at the wine walk in the village, and that was a great event with live music. And then today, here at the Grand Tasting, we brought in 18 wineries. We brought in 7 of Mammoth's best restaurants. The restaurants compete for best dish. It's a People's Choice event. It was amazing food. The chefs really take this seriously. They break out food that was just amazing. And you know, we're proud that Petra's Bistro was the winner. I know you're going to ask that question, but I'm so proud of all the chefs that showed up, and really they're very competitive, and it was amazing food. To have 17, 18 wineries from across the United States really to come out and support us and donate their wine to us and make an event like this happen. Food and wine at its finest here. It was great. It was really fantastic. New this year, we brought in 2 celebrity LA chefs, Raphael and Josiah. These guys have worked together before. We put them against Dan Molnar and Chef Frederick, and it was amazing. 25 minutes they had to create a dish and put it out to judges in a blind taste test. And it was close in the sense that all the judges loved the food that both teams put out. But in the end, the LA chefs took the trophy this year. So I think they kind of laid down some groundwork for next year for the Mammoth chefs to practice up a little bit. it was a great event, and people really enjoyed it. Yeah, we always do a raffle. We've got a Honda generator as our grand prize for the raffle. Honda's our main sponsor. We got a lot of great prizes from them. Some really great bucket lists for our live auction tonight. We're auctioning off a trip to the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. It's going to be exciting. So we're going to head in there right now and do that live auction and close out this event. And for those of you that didn't make it, we hope to see you next year. For those of you that see this, that were at the event, thank you very much. We couldn't do it without our community support. We appreciate that. Mammoth Lakes Foundation has a two-pronged mission. We support arts and culture, and we support higher education. You know, we're proud of the theater programming that we do. We do year-round theater programming here at the Edison Theater, and we also are really proud that we've given out over 625 scholarships, and we allow anybody in Mono County who wants to go back and get their AA degree, whether they just graduated high school or they're someone in our community, we allow them to get their AA degree for free. There's not too many communities that do that sort of make that commitment to education, and that's what we're really proud of. And we're on Facebook and on the World Wide Web, mammothLakesFoundation.org.
Ha! All right, great fun there. Thanks, Rob. We'll be back with more news.